We have been waiting for a college football Saturday like this. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, Matt Barrie, welcome in to College Football Final. It was the marquee matchup, Clemson taking on Notre Dame. Did you know Notre Dame hadn't beaten a #1 team since 1993? That team was Florida State. Also from the ACC, another ACC #1, Clemson in South Bend. Trevor Lawrence sitting out his second straight game. Fighting Irish starting strong. Virtual lock implications for Jesse Palmer and Kyron Williams, 65 yards quickly.
Notre Dame's a physical football team. They want to run the ball, and what a statement to make to begin this game.
So we know DJ Uiagalelei getting his second start for the Tigers. What a strike here to Cornell Powell.
Cornell Powell, these last two games, is becoming a real playmaker from the X-receiver position, complementing Amari Rodgers in the slot.
So midway through the second, after Clemson down 10-7, Uiagalelei pitches to Travis Etienne. Can't get a handle on it. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah takes it in for the score. Scoop and score.
Yeah, if you remember last week, same issue on the handoff. Etienne fumbled the ball going in. This time, it's a touchdown for Notre Dame. That's his third fumble this season. He had 2 all of last season.
Clemson down 23-13 headed into the half. We saw the same thing last week against Boston College. Would we see another comeback? Uiagalelei rolls out. Davis Allen, touchdown.
A lot of people wanted to see how he'd play against an elite Notre Dame defense. 439 passing yards and 2 TDs for the true freshman.
Don't give up on Ian Book. Takes it himself, but Jake Venables forces the fumble.
And Book had 68 yards rushing in this game, and this one he wishes he had back. Give Venables a lot of credit for the hustle, but I know that ball is a mile away from Ian Book when it hit the ground.
So Clemson's defense again coming up big. Under 4 to go in the fourth. First and goal, Etienne 3 yards out. Tigers take a 33-26 lead. Notre Dame running out of time. Book finds Avery Davis 53 yards.
And a fantastic job by this offensive line and the running back in blitz pickup. They were all game.
Just a couple plays later, Book gets big again. Davis ties the game.
And this is what Notre Dame needs to show, that they can be big in big moments of games at the end to drive down on the #1 team in the country and tie the game.
Let's play overtime, fellas. First possession, Uiagalelei strike to Powell.
Wow, on the bang 8 route, tight window to fit that football into. Just elite arm strength from Big Cinco.
Called down 1, he would sneak it in. Clemson up, then Irish ball. Book to Williams, 2 yards out, ties it at 40.
Williams 140 yards rushing in this game. There's that big physical offensive line of Notre Dame.
You guys want double OT? Good. Williams in. Notre Dame goes on top, 47-40. So Clemson needs to answer to force a third OT, and Uiagalelei sacked.
This is an elite defense from Notre Dame, and their D-line makes plays. No sack here. They tried the hook and ladder. They can't get it, but late in this game, they got pressure on the true freshman quarterback, and Brian Kelly and Notre Dame beat #1 at home.
What a win. They stormed the field. I don't know about that, but here's Brian Kelly.
Handling themselves when there was adversity was, as a coach, that's, those are the special moments. Yeah, we won the football game, and I'm certainly excited about that. But more so, when you watch your players exhibit resolve and exhibit grit and refuse to lose a football game against the #1 team in the country that, by the way, hadn't lost in 36 regular season games.
And you heard him mention it there, did Brian Kelly. All good things must come to an end. Clemson had a number of streaks snapped on Saturday, among them 39 straight regular season wins, third longest streak in major college football history, 28 straight wins against ACC opponents. Remember, Notre Dame, an ACC team this year, one shy of tying Florida State for the most in conference history. And so this was a game for both schools. They wanted to prove their worth. I think more so for Notre Dame, because we've seen it time and time again, be it in the BCS or the playoff. They just don't show up in big moments. They did so on Saturday. A lot of that because of Ian Book.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how impressed I was with the way Ian Book played in this game. The question mark for Ian Book was he willing to go downfield with the ball? Usually goes underneath. They're a physical team that likes to run the ball. But in this game, Ian Book made play after play, especially on third downs when he was 9 of 15 for 117 yards. And you'll watch the blitz. The game plan for Brent Venables on third down, we're going to blitz. It's 3rd and 7. Ian Book realizes running back steps up, picks off the blitzer, stands in the pocket, eyes outside, takes his shot downfield, and it is a great back shoulder throw. Nothing the defensive back can do about it. He was huge in these big moments. And once again, 3rd and 3. Here comes the blitz. Ian Book stands in, stands tall, stands big, throws this ball to Michael Mayer, and once again, it's the eyes downfield, falling back, guy in his face. Perfect location on this pass. If Ian Book plays this way moving forward, Notre Dame is as good as anyone in the country because they're so physical and they run the ball.
And look, give Ian Book a lot of credit because I think he's an easy target in these big games, but he stepped up at the end when Notre Dame needed it most. And we thought for a while, Jess, this was going to be a situation. Clemson down to the first half 2 weeks in a row. They were going to come back and get a win, but Notre Dame was there to take every punch.
I think people looked at Notre Dame's schedule and they said, well, they hadn't really played anybody yet. Are they for real when they play the #1 team at home? And the answer is absolutely. And it's because of that physicality. You know, we thought this might be the best offensive line in the country, Notre Dame. They proved it against Clemson. They ran for over 200 yards. They did a phenomenal job with their pass protection. Ian Book had a lot of time to decipher the defense. When things weren't open, he could take off. And defensively, they made Clemson one-dimensional. They held Travis Etienne to just 28 rushing yards. So they did a phenomenal job taking that part of the game away from Clemson. They've got NFL talent at all 3 levels. Their defensive line is fantastic, led by Dalen Hayes. And now they might get the rematch with Clemson in the ACC title game, maybe with Trevor Lawrence and Mike Jones, Tyler Davis, and all these guys. But because of the physicality on both sides of the ball for Notre Dame, I think they're going to have a shot in that one.
Well, I'll tell you this, too. If we do get the rematch in the ACC championship and Trevor Lawrence is back, let's say Clemson were to win that one and Notre Dame was unblemished. Other than that, you're talking about 2 ACC teams in the playoff with Clemson and Notre Dame with both losses. But that's way away from now. Notre Dame, the statement win on Saturday. Let's talk about Florida and Georgia. 3rd straight AP top 10 matchup. This the de facto SEC East championship. Game tied at 14. Kyle Trask into traffic, picked off by Eric Stokes.
And this is a Georgia defense that everyone held as the #1 defense in the SEC. And earlier on, you can see they already gave up 14 points, but they make the big play here. They flip it. They take the lead with a pick 6.
21-14 Dogs at that point. And for a while, guys, Kyle Pitts was quiet, except he got going here.
Well, he's 6'6". He runs routes like a wide receiver. Here they split him into the boundary, and just too much athletic ability for Georgia's defense.
Ties it at 21. This is a scary moment here. Pitts is going to take a hit from Lewis Seen, and both of them absolutely in pain. Seen was taken out for targeting, but both of them were hurt. Pitts would leave the game, head to the locker room, wouldn't return. Dan Mullen said his status for next week, TBD. Kamori Gamble would replace him, and I guess they just have tight ends from everywhere.
Yeah, and they threw it to 10 different guys had a catch in this game, and Trask proved it's not just Kyle Pitts, it's not just Kadarius Toney. I can spread it around.
And just then Trask started to separate.
Yeah, this is Trevon Grimes. He's the Ohio State transfer. He's 6'4", and again, another matchup issue Florida has at that wide receiver position.
You know, there had been questions around Stetson Bennett throughout the season, whether or not he was the guy for Georgia to take to the next step, and he just struggled on
Yeah, it was a struggle. 5 of 16, 78 yards. Eventually, he was taken out of this game. It's just their offenses, they have to run the ball or they won't be able to move it.
DeJuan Mathis comes in, much of the same.
Yeah, listen, Florida's made some personnel changes now these last 2 weeks. They're an improving defense, becoming more complete to go with that explosive offense.
31% completion percentage for Georgia. Florida gets the win.
You know, I think we can play with anybody. You know, we got so many weapons. We speak it into existence. You know, we said it's going to happen all week. We came out, we executed, and we got the victory.
Big win, and I'm really proud of how our guys played and responded. Against one of the top defenses and top overall teams in the country.
You let people score with nobody around, and nobody there. It's not good, and we had too many of those today where they didn't beat us. We gave it to them.
Jeff, what did you see out of Trask?
Oh, he was fantastic, accurate throwing the ball in wet conditions, but he did a great job finding his matchup. Here comes a blitz from Georgia. It's a zone pressure. You got a defensive end trying to cover your running back on a wheel route. Kyle Trask finds him, and he does a great job with his progressions. Here he's looking to his right side first. The pocket's set, but it's going to start to collapse. He's going to have to maneuver around it, get his eyes refocused to find Kadarius Toney in the slot, working over the middle of the field to get the completion and move the sticks. Trask reminds me a lot of Brad Johnson. Remember him? Big, strong, not the strongest arm, but throws very catchable passes. He's playing his way into the Heisman discussion. If they end up playing Bama in the SEC title game, they can score because of Kyle Trask.
So I said SEC East de facto championship. Joey, the schedule looks good for the Gators.
It looks really good. And Kyle Trask has threw for 474 yards and 4 touchdowns on the best defense in the SEC. There's not another defense he'll face like that until he gets to Alabama, maybe in the SEC championship game. And the question was, who does Alabama get to beat in that game? Now, looking the way Florida's playing, they can absolutely hang with this Alabama offense.
All right, so watch out for the Gators. Those are the two biggest games from Saturday. What about the best story of the season in college football? It is Hugh Freeze and 25th-ranked Liberty taking on Virginia Tech. Remember, Liberty had already beaten an ACC team this year in Syracuse. Auburn transfer Malik Willis has been awesome.
And he leads all QBs in the country, averaging 99 rushing yards a game. This guy is a weapon.
So 2 minutes to play. First and goal, Liberty. Peyton Pickett takes the handoff. Touchdown. Liberty takes the lead. Here comes Virginia Tech. 56 seconds to play. First and 10 from the 12. Hendon Hooker to Trey Turner.
And Hendon Hooker did a little bit of everything in this game, but he threw for 217 for 3 touchdowns.
We're tied at 35, 52 seconds remaining. Second and 10. Willis feels the blitz coming, able to rush for 4 yards to the 41-yard line.
He was awesome in 2-minute situations. I say situations because he's going to have another play coming up. You'll see.
All right, so timeout. So that would set up a 59-yard field goal for Alex Barbier. 8 seconds remaining.
Scoop and
Barbier,
score.
it's over.
Go.
This Virginia Tech is going to win.
What a finish.
Off a block, scoop, and score. Unbelievable finish. Oh,
what's going on? What happened?
They called the timeout to ice Barbier. So 4th and 6, Liberty, instead of kicking the field goal, they try to go for it. 8 seconds left. Virginia Tech's defense, they decide to drop his defense back, and Willis takes advantage.
That is a great play call, and I'm not quite sure what Virginia Tech is thinking in this situation. They didn't need many yards to get in field goal range.
So 8 yards, first down. Barbier, another opportunity, and Liberty, first win ever against a ranked opponent. The Flames, 7-0.
We're not perfect individuals. We're not perfect on offense or defense or special teams, but we've been perfect together so far. And, you know, I cost us with this decision not to. I really thought they would tackle us one more time with the other timeout, and they didn't, and I should have ended the game there. But maybe it's a little sweeter ending it the way it did. So I am just so proud for our school, our administration, most importantly for those kids that, man, we've asked to climb a lot of cliffs in my 2 years here, and I'm just blessed to be a part of it with the staff and them.
Hugh Freeze, I tell you what a job. Liberty, they were ranked 25th. They were a 17-point underdog, even though they were the ranked team. Flames are ranked the largest AP-ranked underdog versus an unranked opponent since the FBS and FCS split in 1978. Unlike the previous double-digit dogs, Liberty came out on top.
They're 2-0 against the ACC right now.
Yeah, they'd be in the conversation for the ACC championship. Oregon, USC. What does that mean? The Pac-12 is back. We are officially a Power 5 college football show. Plus, Michigan and Penn State. What on earth is going on in the Big Ten? We'll explain. We're off and running. This is College Football Final.
Hey, it's right there, but you got to go take it. Hey, we going at it all day today.
My way.
We're gonna set the tempo. They're not setting the tempo on our house.
Open catch, touchdown.
Daniels into the end zone.
Next Borgie, touchdown. And Thibodeau's got him. He is having a night.
The Pack was back. We had kegs and eggs at the Coliseum. 9 a.m. Pacific start for Jaden Daniels, Arizona State, taking on USC. 7.5 left. Jaden Daniels to DeMonte Trainum, breaks a tackle, takes it, 17-yard touchdown. Virtual lock implications for Joey Galloway. ASU leads by 7. Fourth quarter, Keaton Slovis sacked by Jermaine Lowell. It looked over. A few plays later, 4th and 13. 4th and 13, Joey. Look at this.
Keaton Slovis threw the ball 55 times in this game. This one is huge. Sometimes you got to get lucky, and they did.
Brew McCoy off the tip kept USC alive. So they would still, at this point, the win probability was north of 97% for Arizona State. USC would have to attempt an onside kick. What? Oh,
no way.
USC able to recover.
This is when Barrie started crying.
I wasn't happy about it, but I knew Galloway and the pick was going to be wrong. What was your line? 11 and a half?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
All right, and so he possessed first 10, 45-yard line. Vavai Malapai gets the handoff, 20 yards. Malapai moved the chains. Under a minute and a half left in the game. 4th and 9. Arizona State, 21-yard line. Slovis again. 4th down. Drake London.
Drake London plays on the basketball team. He's 6'5". That's a good target to go up and dunk on 2 defenders. Perfect throw by Slovis. Great concentration by London.
So USC takes a 1-point lead. Last chance for Jaden Daniels and the Sun Devils. Not to be. First win for USC when trailing by 13-plus points in the 4th quarter since the 2017 Rose Bowl. What a win.
2020 has been about adversity and overcoming adversity. And so proud of our guys. We made enough mistakes in that game to lose a bunch of games, but they kept together, they kept fighting, and gave themselves a chance at the end. And then, man, what a big play by Keaton Slovis and Drake London at the end.
I just think you got to make the plays. You guys watched the game. It wasn't like we weren't in position to make the plays. It's just you have to make them when they present themselves, and that's football.
Herm, a young team, they're going to have to finish next time they've got a lead like that. What about Oregon, Stanford, first quarter? Ducks trailing 7-0. What's the physicality of C.J. Verdell?
Verdell, 20 carries, 105.
Boom!
They were not going to keep him out of the end zone. You see the paint fly off the helmet?
I love those kind of hits. Oregon ties it up at 7. Then Tyler Shuck fires it downfield to Johnny Johnson III.
Shuck won the QB battle with Boston College transfer Anthony Brown. He goes here to Johnson, who makes the incredible catch and the concentration.
So inside the 5, and then DJ Johnson, easy score. Oregon takes a 14-7 lead. 3rd quarter, same score, 2nd and 4 for Oregon. Travis Dye is going to take the handoff, and it seems every year Oregon's going to have one of these type of backs.
And I think we saw early on in the Pac-12, tackling was a bit of an issue. These guys haven't practiced a lot, definitely not much contact, the ability to keep your body off the ground and reach the ball across the goal line.
21-7 lead, then 1st and goal, Shug designed run.
And Mario Cristobal is going to love this. His offensive line had to replace all 5 starters, but they ran for 269 yards offensively.
Oregon gets the win, 35-14.
We haven't played a football game in 311 days. That's a long time. So you know what? We started off a little bit slow, and quite honestly, it was a little bit strange, right? Autzen Stadium not rocking with our people. So it took a little while to get adjusted. Minus the 2 turnovers, did well on offense, defense, kept tightening up down in the tight red zone. Overall, pretty pleased with the win. Lots of work to do.
All right, gentlemen, it's the Pac-12 favorites on Saturday. Oregon and USC both get wins. Oregon, no drama. Trojans, a little bit of drama against Arizona State. So what did you see out of the Pac-12 that stood out to you?
I think everyone's waiting to see what Oregon would look like without Herbert as their quarterback gone this season. It's Tyler Shuck's offense now. They had at least 5 guys opt out, and so they're sitting at number 12 still. And everyone's just saying, like, let's just wait and take a look. They got 6 weeks to get these games in. And right now, if I'm Oregon, I'm feeling pretty good about the statement I made in my first game. It wasn't great. It wasn't the prettiest win. But if you look at it, they were never in doubt of their ability to win this game. They ran the ball well. And I mentioned guys missing. Panay Sewell, the left tackle, will be a top 5 pick, not on this team. Javon Holland will be a first rounder on the defensive side. He opted out. And so if I'm Oregon, I come away from this game thinking we got a big win, we looked really good, and we made the statement we needed to make in week 1.
Tyler Shuck looks like a good fit for new offensive coordinator Joe Moorhead. I was really impressed with Keaton Slovis in the passing game of USC. It's year 2 for Keaton Slovis and Graham Harrell's air raid offense. He looked comfortable against Arizona State, and I give Sparky a lot of credit. They had a good defensive plan. They played a lot of coverage. They kept the ball in front of him. Slovis took what they gave him, but a lot of weapons at wide receiver for USC. It's not just Amon-Ra St. Brown or Tyler Vaughns. Drake London at 6'5" is going to be a matchup problem. Brew McCoy, the Texas transfer, is so athletic. Arizona State might be the toughest game for USC in the regular season. Now they've gotten past that hurdle. If this is a team that's going to make some noise and get in the college football playoff conversation, it's going to be because of the passing game, but Keaton Slovis looks good.
Yeah, slow start for USC. They made the plays when they had to, especially on 4th and long to get the win. So both favorites in the Pac-12 survive survive. At one point, maybe thought Michigan was a favorite in the Big Ten. Maybe they were going to get back in it after losing to Michigan State. They had beaten Indiana 24 straight times, so it set up well for Jim Harbaugh. But someone forgot to tell the Hoosiers, Michael Penix Jr. to tie Freifogel.
Freifogel, 7 catches, 142, and once again, the Indiana offense gets rolling early.
Man, did they have some skill guys. There's Peyton Hendershot.
Yeah, tight ends, receivers, running backs, and a quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. that's getting more and more comfortable and more accurate as the season goes on.
Guys, it was 24-7 at that point, and then Jacoby Hewitt takes it down to the 1-yard line. Indiana would punch it in, 31-14, and it was just embarrassing for Michigan.
Give Indiana's defense some credit. They held Michigan to 13 yards rushing. When Michigan can't run the ball, they can't win. Indiana moves to 3-0. This is a team to watch out for.
First win against Michigan for Indiana since 1987. I think Galloway was at Ohio State then.
Personal feeling is that close to doing it. It's you see it done. You see it happening, and then it's got to take the next step of happening in the games.
I just can't be any more proud of a group of young men than I am right now. This team, just their toughness and grit and fight, just has been unbelievable. Just the way they play from start to finish. We challenged them about starting fast and finishing strong, and man, that's exactly what we did.
What a win for the Hoosiers. So, guys, Penn State just had an Ohio State problem, right? They weren't going to lose to Maryland.
Mike Loxley, he hit the lottery when he got Talia Tagovailoa to transfer. 282 passing yards, 3 TDs. He's looked so good now these last 2 games.
That a 42-yard strike to Raheem Jarrett. Then Tagovailoa finds Jarrett again.
Yeah, Penn State turned the ball over 3 times in this game. You're right. Last week it was like, that's Ohio State. They'll be back. What is wrong with Penn State?
This was the 3rd win against Penn State in Maryland history.
Obviously, you got to give Maryland credit. They played well, and we did not. A lot of things that we got to get corrected. Ultimately, it's my responsibility, and we'll get to work on it on Sunday.
Is Northwestern a legit undefeated Big Ten team? Taking on Nebraska, 3rd quarter, 2nd and goal, 2-yard line. Peyton Ramsey to John Rain.
Peyton Ramsey, he had to fight through some adversity, threw 2 picks in this game. He's got a nice athletic tight end, and John Rain makes a nice catch in the back of the end zone.
Let's just make it rain. Northwestern takes a 14-13 lead. Then Ramsey finds Riley Lees over the middle, spins in for the touchdown.
Make a miss, and Nebraska was complaining about the teams they picked early in the season. Ohio State, Wisconsin game, Kansas. Northwestern wasn't one of those teams they were complaining about.
But Nebraska didn't go away quietly. Luke McCaffrey takes himself for a 15-yard gain.
I like Christian McCaffrey's little brother. He can play quarterback. They play running back. Find ways to get him some touches.
So McCaffrey, plenty of time left. 4th and 4 from the 14-yard line. Wandale Robinson, incomplete. Ball game. First 3-0 start in conference play for Northwestern since 2000.
We won 84 White Sox today, man. Today was a win and ugly game, all right? And we've got to get a lot better in a lot of ways. It starts with me, but we'll take it. A win's a win. And I've approached this year, I think, with just such a thankful mindset just to be able to coach these guys and to be able to have the opportunity to be out on the field.
Nothing is more #2020 than Big Ten football. Indiana, Northwestern, both 3-0 in the Big Ten play for the first time ever. The conference was formed in 1896. As for Michigan and Penn State, this is the first time both have losing records after November 1st since 1993, when Penn State joined the Big Ten. If you want to go back further, these 2 storied programs pre-Big Ten for Penn State, this is the first time both have losing records since 1965. Who's still alive in the Big 12? Bedlam approaches both teams' games on Saturday. Plus, is it possible that Joey or Jesse leave Alabama or Ohio State out of their top 5? Find out next on College Football Final. Welcome back to College Football Final. Ohio State had won 24 in a row at home. Got Rutgers on Saturday. Didn't think that stat was going to change. Here, Justin Fields to Jamison Williams.
Well, Fields has been the most accurate quarterback in the country early this year. 24-28 in this one with 5 TD passes.
One of the dynamics that makes Fields so good, the ability to throw and keep it himself.
In the last couple weeks, the offensive line for Ohio State, the way they've been physical up front, opens up the run game.
So 14-3 at that point. It's always been a quick start for Ohio State. We saw it again. Fields rolls out, finds Chris Olave.
This offense does such a good job of moving the pocket and changing the launch point for Fields, and he's so accurate throwing on the run.
And I tell you what, he spread the wealth a lot to a lot of his receivers. This one to Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, 104 yards receiving as the OSU offense got 517 yards.
Why don't we keep it in the great state of Ohio? Rutgers put up a fight, not good enough. Cincinnati taking on Houston. We're going to talk group of 5 because these guys look the part because of their quarterback, Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder can take negative plays and turn them into positives. Evades the rush, and you see the speed. 342 rushing yards for the Bearcats. Watch out, cameraman. Targeting, 15 yards. Crown of the helmet.
Shooting that on an iPhone?
And a launch.
I don't.
Bad intentions.
Get up. Open the lens, white balance, check your shutter, get back in the ball game. Ridder, Josh Wiley, 4-yard touchdown.
Cincinnati's physical, they run the ball, but the way Ridder's playing these last couple weeks makes them a legitimate top 16.
And here's a number that makes them legitimate, outscoring their opponents by close to 28.
Yeah, and their defense is still their identity, guys. They held Houston at just 282 total yards. This is becoming a very complete team.
Talk about Luke Fickell's squad in Cincinnati. They are good. Texas A&M schedule sets up for them the rest of the way. Remember, they've already beaten Florida. They've got one on the map that looks good. Kellen Mond to Jalen Weidemeyer. They look good all game.
And this is a great play call. Weidemeyer sneaks out to the left, roll out right, wide open touchdown.
And it's Weidemeyer again. Jimbo Fisher said Mond is really grasping the scheme.
He is, and Jimbo Fisher with this play calls, just scheming guys open. A delayed drag route there for the tight end.
Was anyone going to cover the receivers for Texas A&M?
Not at all. And give the A&M defense some credit. They held South Carolina to 150 total yards.
Aggies in a beatdown, 48-3 the final. Now let's take a look who you guys think could be in the college football playoff with the Capital One fan vote.
All right, Barry, week 10 in the books. Pac-12's playing football again. We've got a fully stocked board now for our top 5. But with Notre Dame beating Clemson and Florida beating Georgia, we're going to get some shakeup here, Joey. Start us with number 5.
I love the Cincinnati Bearcats. I love what Luke Fickell has done with this defense. They've shut down 3 straight high-powered offense, ran the ball for 340 this past weekend. But I think Desmond Ridder is the difference. The way he's played these past couple weeks makes him a legitimate top 5 team.
They're looking more like a complete team. I'm going Texas A&M. 48-3 against South Carolina. Very impressive. Kellen Mond keeps playing better football. They're looking complete as well. I think they're a team that can win out. Their win against Florida is looking better now that the Gators beat Georgia. This is a team that I could see getting into the college football playoff, even if they don't play in the SEC title game. So I'm going to go Clemson, number 4. Obviously, big loss on the road against Notre Dame, but they're a banged-up team. DJ Uiagalelei still looks real impressive. I'm impressed with their depth. They're going into a bye week. They need to get healthy. They need all those playmakers on defense back in the lineup.
I agree with you on Clemson, so I'm going to move up to my number 3 team. Really impressed with what Ian Book did. He was the question mark for me. In the past couple weeks, he's thrown it better, but still wasn't willing to take the shots downfield. He did that against Clemson. He made crucial plays late in the game, in overtime. Notre Dame and the way they play now, they'll probably get another shot at Clemson in the ACC championship game, but right now, they're a better football team than Clemson.
They're a physical team. Their offensive line, I thought, dominated Clemson, and on defense, they've got so much NFL talent at all 3 levels. They were flying around. Big win for the program, too. People always talk about what happened against Bama back in the national title game and Clemson in the semifinal. That was a huge win. Ohio State, number 2. I'm watching Justin Fields throw the ball, and it's like routes on air. The ball never touches the ground. Guys are wide open. He's got all day to throw. I don't know who can stop Ohio State right now, so I've got that.
I agree. Fields he's coming in completing 87% of his passes, then goes 24-28. They're really good. And Alabama moves up to number 1. If I can get it to come over here. They had the weekend off, but we've seen what that offense is. Mac Jones might be leading for the Heisman race right now with what he's been able to do, even without Waddle. Alabama at 1. This is going to be a lot of fun moving forward.
This thing's starting to get interesting, Barry. Week 10 now in the books. We've got some movement. It's going to continue to change.
I'd sign up for that top 4, gentlemen. Good stuff. Don't forget to give your Capital One fan vote via the SportsCenter's Twitter handle on Monday as you take a look at some of the notable games coming up this week in college football. Let's travel back to the Big 12, shall we? Oklahoma State and Kansas State, 4th quarter. Kansas State down 1. Will Howard keeps the ball, fumble, you know what's coming, scoop and score, Jason Taylor.
Will Howard had 125 yards rushing in this game, but makes the big mistake, doesn't take care of the football, coughs it up, scoop, score.
Pokes they were messing around in this game. It looked as if they were going to go to Manhattan and get the loss. Howard, as you mentioned, had a nice game, rushes in for the score.
Yeah, they were down 12-0 was Oklahoma State. And Will Howard, after 3 turnovers last week in a loss against West Virginia, he was trying to rebound after that early turnover.
Yeah, fumbled the ball again. Oklahoma State used a 20-6 second half to get the win and keep their chances in the Big 12 race alive. On the other side of Bedlam, you had Oklahoma and Kansas. Guys, there was not going to be any drama in this one.
No, not at all, except Rattler did get banged up, took a shot to the hip, was limping around, but that was still enough to beat Kansas.
While he was in the game, he was still very effective.
He was, and he was able to find some throws. Spencer Mordecai came in and spelled him. He looked good as well. But Oklahoma's defense, they're playing better now. They get a bye week. That's going to help Rattler hopefully get healthy before Bedlam when they take on Oklahoma State.
4th straight win for the Sooners after starting 1-2. Still ahead. Sam Ehlinger did something on Saturday that Lamar Jackson and Tim Tebow have never done. That's elite company, I'll tell you what it is. Plus, Memphis was able to get a win. What a comeback, last-minute drive. Brady White Tigers win 34-33. We're going to keep you going on College Football Final. Check in on some Big 12 action, West Virginia and Texas. This was a sneaky good game on Saturday. First quarter, 3rd and goal. Sam Ehlinger to Brennan Eagles runs it in for the score.
And it's a receiving corps for Texas that's banged up by injuries right now. Eagles doing a nice job here in the shallow cross.
So Longhorns up 7-0 early. We know West Virginia's got an offense. Jared Dagey leads a good one here. Letty Brown, the handoff, ties the game at 7.
Letty Brown came in as the 2nd leading rusher in the Big 12, but WVU had trouble running the ball, just 43 yards in this game.
But Ehlinger, we've seen it time and time again, able to step up when his team needs it the most. Here to Jake Smith.
Yeah, fought through a calf injury. This is on 3rd and 11. He was only 15-31 throwing against a good West Virginia defense, but Texas's defense, they made more plays.
How good was Ehlinger Saturday? Became the 3rd player in FBS history with 90 passing touchdowns and 30 rushing touchdowns in his career, joining Ohio State's J.T. Barrett. And how about Central Michigan's Dan Lefevre? You know it. Tim Tebow came up 2 passing touchdowns short of being a member of this exclusive club.
Gets a mention, though.
That's how exclusive it is. Well, it's a clause in our contract. Always Tebow. Baylor, Iowa State, so much to get to in the Big 12. Breece Hall, 17-yard touchdown.
And I just mentioned Letty Brown being 2nd in the Big 12. Well, Breece Hall is number 1 in the Big 12 in rushing by 300 yards.
Iowa State was kind of messing around in this game, keeping Baylor in it. Brock Purdy here finds Chase Allen.
Yeah, tale of 2 halves for Purdy. No touchdowns, 3 picks in the first half, 3 TDs, no picks in the second.
That was the first lead of the game for Iowa State. Then Purdy to Hall, 6-yard. 3rd touchdowns of the game for Breece. Iowa State up 14. Charlie Brewer to the end zone, picked off by Mike Rose.
And Iowa State moves to 5-1, the best record in the Big 12.
I'm telling you, this Big 12 towards the end of the season is going to be fun to watch, whether they have a playoff team or not. SMU and Temple, Shane Buechele, 4th quarter, ponies up, hits Kylan Granson, 24-yard touchdown.
No quarterback in college football is thrown for more career yards than the Texas transfer Buechele, and I love this tight end, Kylan Granson.
They seem to have more weapons. They lost Robertson for the year, but Rashee Rice, he's around.
And every single week, Buechele could get a helmet sticker, threw 4 touchdowns, 355 yards, but I don't think he gets one tonight.
SMU 4-0 on the road this season. Oh, it is now time for our 2020 vision, and in this case, it's things that Joey Galloway hasn't seen. Ghostbusters.
Really?
Top Gun.
Nope.
What? Titanic.
Nah, not at all.
What's the problem?
There's no reason to see. For what?
You can't say you were too young.
All right. No, all right, humor me. You've seen Rudy.
Who?
Rudy.
5'0", you're 100-0.
No.
Hardly a speck of athlete.
You're the closest thing I've seen to Rudy.
It's the 45th anniversary of Rudy's sack, which may have been offsides. And I've been told that Clemson watched Rudy pregame before the Notre Dame game.
They should have been ready.
What is your problem, Galloway? Have you not seen Rudy?
It's not on my list, but what I have seen, my favorite part of the program, the Matt Barrie and Rudy Participation and Effort Award this week goes to Drew Chrisman, punter, from Ohio State. Watch the effort. Go get him, Matt Barrie.
Got the throwback here from Rutgers. You saw this last week. Good intentions. Turf monster will get you.
Oh, man.
It's the neck collar for Barrie.
We gotta send one of these awards out.
You know what? Let me tell you something. One day, I'm going to have my moment, and when a kicker lights up one of you skill position players, I'm going to have my moment. I'm going to side text Stephen Oling, CP to the stars, and I will make sure that I get my moment.
This is a great addition to college football. Final,
this is.
by the way.
You guys finally contributed something.
This is one of the best things we do.
So from that award to some real award winners on Saturday, just a tremendous moment. Let's take a look at our top moments from Veterans Day, brought to you by USAA. There was a helicopter flyover at the Kansas and Oklahoma game. Down in Texas, there were fans with their hands over their hearts for the anthem. And at Northwestern, Veterans Day was honored with their logo filled in with the American flag. And finally, South Carolina came out of the tunnel with the American flag. And this is our moment to thank all of our service men and women. Still ahead. You know what? That's $1. It's all $1. Did you earn one on Saturday? Plus, that the bad, this the good. So many to discuss. Top plays from Saturday on the way on College Football Final. The Big Ten, Michigan State, Iowa. Normally this game, well, wouldn't be a must-watch for us, but because it was a Jesse Palmer virtual lock, we were going to watch Rocky Lombardi and, well...
after beating Michigan, I'm not sure Michigan State knew they had a game today. They looked totally unprepared. Lombardi in a homecoming. He's from Des Moines, Iowa.
That's right.
He threw 3 picks.
Spencer Petras, he looked good. Brandon Smith for the touchdown.
And look at the catch by Brandon Smith. Goes up, lays out, up high.
Have at it.
Bring it down.
Should be a top play. We'll find out. I mean, Iowa,
both sides of the ball.
Jesse.
Both sides of the ball, Sparty. Offense, defense, and special teams. Charlie Jones, though, had a great game. On 5 punt returns, he averaged 21 yards.
This is your moment. This is your moment to talk to Michigan State, because this may have been the worst beat in virtual locks history.
Yeah, it wasn't just the interception by Lombardi. They ran the ball for 59 yards. Michigan State, big physical Spartans, ran it for 59 yards.
Here's me talking to Michigan State. I'm not picking you again.
All right, so that in combination with the Clemson pick, Palmer was 0 for 2. Let's check in on Galloway's final. Coastal Carolina, South Alabama, Sunbelt, Funbelt, Matty. Grayson the call to C.J. Marable gets here for the touchdown. Coastal up 14-3.
Yeah, but I need more points. 14-3 is not going to cut it.
They were favored. Coastal was by 18 points. Galloway took it. Kawan Baker keeps it himself, gets stopped. Coastal Carolina ball. So less than 6 minutes left. You're feeling good, Galloway. Desmond Trotter evades pressure. He's picked off by...
It was a sloppy game. 2 turnovers on both sides. But here we go. Coastal Carolina.
Yeah. They're running out the clock. You need it. What do you...
They ran the ball for 236 yards. I needed them to run it for 240 yards.
You had USC minus points against Arizona State. Coastal Carolina stays undefeated. Great story. Guys, what happened?
I don't think this has ever happened in virtual locks history.
0-2. You guys were 0-4.
You seem surprisingly happy about that.
Do we need to take a week off?
We might need to change the name.
Do we need to take a week off?
Just call it virtual.
Oh, too bad.
We'll be back.
You know what? Both of you, that's $1.
We'll be back.
We got a new segment this year on College Football Final. It's called That's $1. We fine each other $1 for saying or doing stupid things. Some would say it's a Barbie world.
That's $1.
That is $1. Doink misses. Look at his boy 34 right here. He's like, no.
You can't even headbutt the UFC anymore.
Go sell some lemonade, bring back 50 cents each, and pay your $1. I don't care. You're the punter. You got one job. Juggle, got it. No, I don't.
Oh, James Beam hanging out.
That'll help with the pain.
It's a terrible camera angle.
It's a game?
Right here.
We're playing.
Did I miss class?
Actually, there was a kick, but TV was not ready.
This is ill-advised every day of the week. All right, so you guys know I love Max and calling a game on Tuesday, but the college kickers, all of the MAC kickers this week, you are all fined. These aren't even in the zip code. Dollar.
I don't know how you can miss it that bad from that close.
Get that.
Like
Look at this.
points.
Looks like Cristiano Ronaldo taking a free kick.
Dollar. Matt Kickers. Take a knee. You're fined $1. Think about it.
How about your alma mater, Barrie? ASU, Jack Jones, a USC transfer playing against his old school. This is awesome. He's getting blocked by Amon-Ra St. Brown and gets pancaked. That's $1. But then he can make the play and completely strike out. I should give him $2.
The number 0 is perfect.
You can't wear 0 and make plays like that.
They make 0 plays. Jared Dagey, West Virginia, throws one pass, catches it, gets it. So you can't. He's a redshirt junior. You can't throw it 2 forward passes in one play.
Let's have another look.
That's but I tell you what, you know who doesn't care? Who could care less that this is an illegal play?
Yeah, dude.
Who? You go to the sideline, and I won't bet you any money. This guy, I bet he saw Rudy. He watched Rudy for sure.
What's he watching?
He don't care what happened. Let the party begin.
Boy 47's about to get involved.
Look at my man.
Oh, man.
Sprinkler hat.
You know what? Dollars all around. Top plays from Saturday. Raekwon O'Neal.
Oh, big fella, go get it.
Big boy Teeny. Look at how excited he
I gotta
is.
say, man, I mean, they got kind of pummeled by Ohio State, but they made it interesting. They've had a lot of trick plays. It was fun to watch.
Assist on number 4 to our own Joe Tessitore said, guys, Zay Flowers belongs in top plays.
Yeah, he made Clemson's defense.
Oh, my goodness.
No way he was
average in that last week.
That is a great. Keep your feet in running full speed.
What about Clayton Tune hitting Bryson Smith? Ball pops out. Smith stays with it.
Not a lot of bright moments in this game. Bearcats defense was awesome, but that's what it's going to have to take this year, it looks like. This secondary, they're so good in coverage. Great job climbing the ladder. The bobble and concentration.
Number 2, Georgia Southern and Troy. Shy Works is going to go deep. Najee Thompson.
Southern. They crank it downfield in a jump
Oh, my
ball.
goodness.
How about the offensive line didn't move at all? Pass interference, one-handed. That's a great catch.
That was fun from the Sun. Number 1, Charlie Brewer goes long. RJ Sneed. Oh, wait.
I mean,
is he in?
He made that way more difficult than it needed to be. Charlie Brewer did. He is wide open, but Sneed makes him look good.
Oh, that is special. That is the top play. Still ahead. Ibrahim tweeted, Muhammad, 431 yards and 8 TDs in the last 2 games. Does he get the most coveted individual award in all of college football? The helmet sticker ceremony is imminent. Alma mater Marshall looking so good this season. Brendan Knox, a huge game.
And Marshall's physical. They ran the ball for 267 yards in this game. Knox, 118 and 2 touchdowns.
Marshall continues to beat down their opponents. 51-10, the final. They stay unbeaten on the season. More Pac-12. Colorado taking on UCLA. Debut for Carl Durrell, the new head coach. Colorado, Jarek Broussard had a huge day for the Buffs.
They need him. Last year's leading rusher, Alex Fontenot, he might miss this season with an injury, so Broussard, he's going to have to shoulder the load.
And he did so Saturday. 3 touchdowns, 208 total yards for Broussard. Under 2 to play. UCLA down 13, no timeouts. We've seen it come back before. Dorian Thompson-Robinson to Mike Martinez.
And Thompson-Robinson, 20 of 40. You want to see him complete more than that, but threw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
So we saw an onside kick with the other LA team in USC. UCLA didn't get the same bounce. Colorado hangs on to win 48-42. Time for the best part, highlight of the program, helmet stickers.
I'm going Kyle Trask against Georgia. Threw the ball 474 yards. 4 touchdowns. He's the first player in SEC history to throw 4 touchdown passes in 5 consecutive games.
To his brother, Talia Tagovailoa from Maryland. 282 passing yards, 3 TDs against Penn State. Becomes the first Maryland quarterback to throw 3 or more touchdown passes in back-to-back conference games since Danny O'Brien, 2010.
Give me all the Liberty and Malik Willis. He was so good in the upset of Virginia Tech. 4 total touchdowns. First player with consecutive games of 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Flames 7-0.
Yeah, I went down to D2 for this one. I went down to San Angelo, Texas. Division II Angelo State, Alfred Greer, 247 rush yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 solo tackle on defense as they knocked off FCS Abilene Christian.
Got to pick it up, boys.
Give
Here
me
we
the
go.
helmet. Ian Book, man, been inconsistent a bit this year, but he balled out against Clemson. 310 passing yards, ran for 64. He's 14-0 now at home.
Kellen Mond, 5 total touchdown. Elbows out for the Aggies quarterback. 68 career touchdown passes Gerard Johnson for most in program history. Big day for the quarterbacks. Big day for Notre Dame. We'll see what the pollsters say. You know what made Saturday so much fun? It was a Power 5.
Oh.
And we're a Power 3.
I thought it was the Matt Barrie Inspiration Award.
No.
Now, that was fun.
We dared to be great.